Moduls Rīga piedāvā.
I'm not sure. It's a very powerful thing to hold a guitar. I think to be in control of something, standing up, playing, really going for it. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is exactly. Maybe the potentially aggressive nature of the instrument. I don't know. When you really dig into a string, you can really feel the whole thing vibrate, and it's a very physical, sort of universal thing. Playing other instruments, I think, can be a lot more delicate than a guitar, and I really like that about the guitar, that it can be so forceful in the right hands. I was growing up in a small town, and at school I was introduced to a lot of bands. I think punk bands or pop punk bands like Green Day and bands like that, and from that I discovered a festival called Monsters of Rock, a festival in Donington, up in the north of England, in the Midlands. And Iron Maiden were headlining, and I went to this, and I was 13 years old, and I went with some friends to this festival and saw this band Iron Maiden and saw how they were playing their guitars, and just fell in love with the electric guitar, and realised I had to try that out for myself, and switched to acoustic guitar much later on in life. But yeah, electric guitar, Iron Maiden, that's where it all sort of began.
Don't you feel you want to go back to electric guitar someday?
Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, I just got a new electric guitar. And I've been having a lot of fun just playing around with it recently. But two different loves. I love electric guitar. I've neglected it quite a lot. I haven't played it that much recently. But acoustic guitar is a love as well. And the acoustic guitar is something I'm much more confident in composing my own music on, because it's such a diverse instrument with the hollow body and the percussion and things like that. My guitar is, we've been through a lot, this guitar has accompanied me on maybe between 70 and 75 flights since last April. And it's gone to Asia, it's sweated, in Asia. It's got a lot of condensation on it and become very wet from traveling through snowstorms in America. And it's still reliable. It's as reliable as the day I got it. And yeah, I don't really feel the need to play any other instrument. I just have a good connection with it, made by a guy called Nick Benjamin in Lewis, in the south of England, and really great guitars. Yeah. Well, I discovered Nick through my old guitar teacher. I had a few guitar lessons with a great guitarist named Stuart Ryan in Bath in the UK. And Stuart had, I think at the time, 2 of Nick's guitars, and he brought it into the lesson, and he let me play it, and I investigated further, met Nick in his workshop, and he actually had 1 guitar for sale at the time, and I played it and fell in love with it and bought it there and then. There are a lot of players in the world at the moment. Well, not a huge amount, but the scene for this kind of guitar playing is definitely growing all the time. You look at things like Facebook and YouTube, and there's always more people popping up playing. And a lot of them even, to this day are bringing new ideas to the table. It's all about creativity and discovering new sounds you can make out of this instrument. I think something that it's going towards is, I think we're going to see this style in bands in the near future with other musicians as well, so it won't just be limited to the solo guys. I'd like to see people using it in bands. I actually did a recording session for a Swedish metal band, of all things, where I recorded some acoustic guitar, which is in one of their songs. So I think slowly the styles are integrating, for sure. Yeah, well, I haven't really, Indian sort of stuff is something I'd like to get into in the future. But it's something that I think will require another instrument to play. My guitar has a very low action, and anything that sort of emulates a sort of fretless, slidey sound is very hard to do on this guitar. But yeah, I learned a lot about music, especially from the southern United States, those kind of guitar players, the classic sort of finger picking guys, and a lot from Russia as well, balalaika music. I know a lot of balalaika players, and I learnt a lot of right hand techniques from them. Same with flamenco players, a lot of rasguedo kind of techniques. So yeah, I like to pick different things out of different sort of cultures.
And what about banjo?
Never, never. Maybe one day, but I'm not a big banjo fan.
It's like a little drum.
It's like a little drum. Yeah, you know what, it is. And I do have some things that I play on the acoustic guitar that sort of emulate a banjo a little bit, you know, that kind of style. But I have no immediate plans to play the banjo. I'll say for the record. But who knows, you know, never say never.
What about classical music for guitar?
You know, I've never found myself totally drawn to classical guitar music, but it is something that I'd like to get into at some point. I played a few pieces very loosely on an old nylon string when I was in college, but other than that, I haven't really looked too much at the style. There is actually I just want to mention, there's a great guitar player, young guitar player from the UK named Declan Zappala. So Declan Zapala. And he's actually a great classical guitar player, but he's combining this with a lot of modern percussive sounds. And his music's very, very interesting. There's no one that really sounds like him because he's got this traditional sort of background, but then he's using all the parts of guitar in a very interesting way. I know a lot of modern classical compositions use, you know, guitar drumming and things like that, but what he's doing is I think very unique. Right. I guess you could call this, if you were to pigeonhole it, you could call it percussive acoustic guitar, playing acoustic guitar with the percussion. It's also fingerstyle guitar, which basically means steel string guitar playing with fingers or fingernails rather than a flat pick or a plectrum. And then contemporary acoustic guitar, modern acoustic guitar. It hasn't really been standardized yet because I think it's all about experimentation. So it's very hard to put everyone in the same box just because they do unusual things with a guitar. But at the moment, if you were to Google search it, percussive acoustic guitar is probably the best thing to do. Well, I play a few jazz pieces, but I think if you look at jazz in a broader sense, a lot of what I'm playing is all about experimentation and looking at things in new ways. And I do like playing sort of jazz gigs because I think it does connect with the jazz audiences in that respect. But hopefully they will enjoy what I'm doing because jazz audiences stereotypically can be quite tricky audiences. But it's always been fun in the past, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the concert.
Speaking about Gautier, as I see, he became quite an inspiration for many musicians around the world, especially because of this short film he made, this making of.
Yeah.
And it was about how a single person can make music.
Was this was this where he's hitting the fence to make bass notes?
Maybe. Yeah.
Talking about the studio and buying records and things like that.
Yes,
yeah.
And such music became quite a lonely business. Before it was jazz was jamming and rock music was traveling with your band and drinking together.
Absolutely.
And now it's only one person who's playing his music. Isn't
well, I mean,
a little bit sad?
Well, with Gautier, I mean, he has a whole band when he travels and tours and everything, but he has the creative freedom to compose what he wants when he wants, which is great. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I mean, I do get the best of both worlds as well because I am in a band. I have a session gig with Justin Hayward of the Moody Blues, and we go out to the States and do long tours on a bus with the crew and the band and everything, and that's fun for a whole different reason, you know. But also I'm the support act in these shows, so I get to do my solo music to the audiences of the Moody Blues, which is a great honor. But when I travel, I love it. It's very freeing. I hop on a plane, but as soon as I land, I'm surrounded by, you know, new potential friends and then people that I then stay in contact with, and you get to see the world at the same time. And you know, several times. I have people traveling with me anyway, you know. Or I just got back from, before the US tour I just did, I was in China, and I had some very close friends out there at the same time. Got to go around Beijing together, which is great. It's not lonely at all when you're with your guitar and you're sharing music with people that you enjoy hanging out with and enjoy meeting. So should I just play?